And we're back in the Monogram kitchen, experimenting with the Monogram Hearth Oven. Hopefully you've watched the other videos where we've made pizzas, we've made steaks, we've made sides. Now it's time for chicken. Okay, I'm gonna do something a little different with the chicken. This whole time, I've been recommending that you cook things on a sizzle pan or a sheet pan or aluminum pan. I'm gonna try one of these chicken breasts right on the stone. I don't recommend it, but how are we ever gonna know if it's gonna work or not? Okay, so once again, just some simple seasoning. I want the smallest amount of oil on the one that I'm gonna set on the stone. So I'm gonna do this one directly on the stone. So you can see I have the side that once had the skin, the smooth side. That is the presentation side. So that's gonna go down first in both the sheet pan, the sizzle pan, and on the hearth oven itself. So that we can get a nice sear on the nicer looking of the two sides. A little salt, pepper, lemon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do a little bit of lemon on the one that I'm gonna put on my preheated sizzle pan. Why not? Some pepper as well. All right. Struggling here. Okay, there we go. Fantastic. Let's get these in the oven. Follow me. All right, mise en place, I got my long tongs. Again, I got my oven set to 1100 degrees in the dome, 600 degrees on the stone. I'm doing everything at the same temperature so that I have some consistency. So here's my preheated pan. Can't quite get in there. All right, there we go. Get that. When you slap that down, you don't want to have a wrinkle in it because it's going to stick pretty much immediately, and then as it cooks, it'll unstick. Okay. All right, call me crazy, but we're gonna go directly onto the stone. That's a terrible idea. So let's see how it turns out. So far, it's not sticking too badly. I'm nervous about that. But I will sacrifice my chicken in my oven for the sake of science and the advancement of mankind. Okay, sanitize my cutting board, my workstation, and my tongs. And here we are with my chicken. Look how far that's cooked already. It's sticking ever so slightly. Oh man, look at that. Look how beautiful that looks. I love it. And I would say it's about half cooked. It's been about 6 minutes. Okay, let's check our chicken that's directly on the stone. Ooh, oh, okay. A little less inspiring as far as doneness and color. It's, when I flipped it over, it kind of hit the back side, which is why it's a little bit more cooked. I'm gonna move it over onto a fresh area of the stone. I find that moving things onto the fresh area of stone gives you fresh heat from the stone and will aid with searing. I didn't try this with the steak in the previous video, but I could have, but I decided to do it with the chicken instead because chicken is a little bit more forgiving in that if you overcook it, it's just chicken, you know. Steak is king, let's just face it. Okay, this is gonna be done pretty soon. This is gonna need a little bit more time. I'm reluctant to push it farther back in the oven as well because my tongs aren't really that long and I don't feel like sticking my hand that deep in the oven. That's why I have it near the mouth of the oven. All right, we're gonna check back in about 2 to 3 minutes to see if our chicken's done. It's done. And I know it's done because when I push on it, just the rate at which it springs back. So do you know that trick where, like, if you touch the fat part of your hand, it's a rare steak, and then if you go thumb to index finger, it's like a medium rare steak, and thumb to driving finger, it's a little firmer yet, like a medium, and the medium well done. Well, chicken and a medium steak feel about the same. And what I'm measuring for is the bounce back. So I know that's done. And it's beautiful. It almost looks like I glazed it. Look at that. I love it. That's perfect. I'm gonna squeeze some lemon on that. Cool the pan off, add some flavor. I'm just gonna let that rest. I'm so happy. I can't wait to taste that. We gotta wait for this other chicken. My prediction is that it's not gonna be that good. I don't think it's gonna be nearly as good as that. Now I made some predictions about the steak as well, and I know you don't have flavor vision. That hasn't been invented yet, so you just have to take my word for it. But I don't know, I've been at this for 30 years, so I feel like I have a moderately refined palate. Let's go check out our chicken. Okay, here we go. Okay, things have improved slightly. I'm gonna get back there a little bit more. Okay, so you can see here, hopefully in the camera, we have some burning. That's just from the salt, the pepper, and some of the chicken juice and stuff. Interestingly enough, we have some juice puddling on the top of the chicken, coming out like directly out of the chicken. That's interesting. Wouldn't have anticipated that. This will just scrape right off with our brush, our cleaning brush. Looks like this. Nice stiff bristles on one side and a kind of an edge on the other. I wouldn't go too hard on this. You know, this gets so hot that any contamination from cooking really does burn off. So those are tools that Monogram provides with the Hearth Oven. And of course, it's still cool to the touch. I've been running this oven now for 2 hours straight, and not cool to the touch, cold. I mean, it's cold like metal cold, which is amazing because right there it's about 110 degrees. And it's 1100 degrees inside. So that's kind of a miracle. There's a catalytic converter that reduces the heat down to basically room temperature, hot room temperature, but room temperature. Okay, let's take a look here. So applying that same tip, I would say, using my X-ray vision that I have for chicken, needs just a few more moments. I'm not that afraid of chicken with a touch of pink in it, just because, I don't know, I'd rather have it, I don't want my chicken to be overcooked, but certainly chicken that's undercooked, the texture is so unpleasant that we certainly don't want that. And then, of course, foodborne illness, we want to avoid that as well. Cooking your chicken to 165 degrees internal is always a good idea. Okay. A couple other things that I'd like to experiment with in the future is sous videing, let's say, a steak first, and then searing it on a hot pan. I think that might be kind of a fun way to maybe add flavor. I don't know if that would necessarily achieve the best sear. The best sear, I think, is a hot pan, either a cast iron pan or maybe a really nicely preheated grill. Both of those are going to do the trick. Very, very well, but if you have the oven on anyways and you're making pizzas and roasted vegetables and roasted potatoes anyways, why not take advantage of having the oven on? Okay, here we go. Okay, so things have improved dramatically here with this. Okay, a couple things I wasn't anticipating. I thought this would stick like crazy. To be honest with you, I've tried this before and it stuck like just couldn't get it off the bottom of the stone. I had to scrape it off with the peel. However, the oven was brand new. It was when it was first installed, and it was my first opportunity to cook on that, and I was testing it out, and I gave it a shot. I think now that the stone is seasoned a little bit, because I've been making pizzas and other things in there, some of the fats have kind of gotten on the bottom of it, and it's helped create a stone that's got some seasoning. So I was expecting this to stick really badly, and it didn't. You can see that the color eventually got there. We do have some of this darker color here. That's where it probably hit some previously burned, maybe cornstarch or cornmeal or flour from pizzas. On the non-presentation side, it looks fine. Non-presentation side on this side also looks fine. This has got a squeeze of lemon juice. Oh, let's taste them. Let's see what we got here. This is going very well though, and pretty quick. I mean, I'm taking my time here, but with a preheated pan, this chicken took 6 minutes. This took maybe twice the amount of time. Okay. I'm just gonna cut into my, oh, that's perfect. That's perfect doneness. That's lovely. I bet when I pulled it out, it was still slightly pink on the inside. I'm cutting this at a little bit of a bias because the grain, for some reason, isn't running lengthwise like I would typically expect in chicken breast. So I'm just kind of cutting it a little bit on a bias there to kind of split the difference. Differences, they look pretty similar. This looks a little bit more moist, but that might be because I squeezed lemon juice on it. Tastes like chicken. This one's got more of a crust on the outside. The flavor, it tastes like plain chicken. I mean, I didn't really do much to it. But I mean, if you're just trying to cook chicken breast and make it look appealing, either one would do the trick. I would think, let's make all things equal here. This looks more tender, the one that I put a pre-sear on it. And I can actually see it it looks like more juice coming out of it. The grain is a little bit more tender. It pulls apart a little bit easier. Whereas this one, it's by no means not tender. It's extremely tender. With a squeeze of lemon on it, that solved all my flavor issues. It's delicious. I think it's a tie. They're both delicious. That being said, I wouldn't necessarily recommend cooking directly on the stone, but it does work. It does work. This is still king right here. And what I like about this too is all that juice right there. You know, maybe add some butter, some extra virgin olive oil, and you've got a built-in sauce that's beautiful on the plate that you can serve with your roasted potatoes and roasted vegetables. If you missed this video, there's a description and a link in the description rather. All right, everyone, so there we go. All the different ways that you can use the Monogram pizza oven, the Monogram Hearth Oven. Certainly we can make pizzas, but we can make steaks. We can make sides, we can make chicken. We know we can make fish, shrimp, pork. It works great for all of those things. Remember, avoid fatty meats like ribeyes. That can be problematic, but I think everything else is gonna work great in this. I'm looking forward to experimenting some more with this oven. Well, homework, click that subscribe button. Thank you, appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. This is Chef Mark with Appliance Factory. I'm at Fine Lines in the Monogram Kitchen. I appreciate you tuning in.